Hey, hello and welcome to today's tutorial. So today we'll be making this beautiful ruffled neck net dress. Yes, it's an A-line dress for kids. So I went ahead to mark out my neck. It is for I was making it for a 2-year-old. I marked out my shoulder, my neck, just like I did for my basic bodice drafting. It is the same pattern of cutting, but this one here will have an A-line. It will come out as an A-line dress. So I went ahead to mark out my armhole. I used 4.5 for my armhole. I went ahead to mark the chest, the waist. Oh, it wasn't entering so well, sorry about that. So I marked out my chest, my waist, and I added 1.5 inches allowance. Then for the A line, I added extra 3 inches to give it that A line effect. You can see added extra 3 inches plus my allowance. So I went ahead and used my ruler to draw the straight line. Then I marked out 1 inch just not to have that pointy edge. I used 1 inch. I marked out 1 inch from down up just to give it that curviness. You can see how I did it in case you don't understand my grammar. So I went on to cut out. Oh, I'm so sorry. This thing is not showing as it should. So if you're having difficulty cutting out basic bodies, I have a video already on that. Since my video is not showing as it should, so I think I was marking out the neckline there. For the neckline, I used 2 for the front, 2 inches by 2 inches, and 1 inch by 2 inches for the back. That is 2 by 2 in front and 2 by 1 at the back. Okay, this is better, depending on the age of the child. 1.5 will still do for a 2-year-old. So this is me folding to cut out the back part of the dress. I left 1 inch allowance for the zip. Yes, 1 inch zipper allowance. The dress has a zip behind, not a really long zip, a short one, but you still add normal allowance. So I left 1 inch allowance for my zip. So this was me trying to arrange it and make sure every part is in line. So for the back, I used 1 inch. You can see 1 inch by 2 inches for the neck length and depth. So every other thing is the same apart from the neckline. The dress is so beautiful. You needed to see it on the person wearing it. Oh, so simple and beautiful. Simple but beautiful dress. So you can see my front and the back part is ready, but not completely ready. This is for the basic bodice. So I went ahead to open up the zipper allowance. Meanwhile, this video is for the cutting of this dress, the video became too bulky, so I had to cut it into two. So I am making a video for cutting and a different video for sewing. So I went ahead to mark out my first part. I came down by 4 inches from the shoulder line. I marked out 4 inches. This is for the first part where the neckline is. Then there's another part. This first one is A. There's a B part of it and there's a C part. So for the B part, I came down again by 4 inches. You can use 3, you can use 4, depending on how big or how grown the child is. So for the first part, the first cutout, I am going to transfer it into a net. You know, the first part is just a net. So I went on to lay my net. I used the first part to cut out the net for it. I won't be using the material, it's just the net I'll be using for the first part. I did the same for the back. Please remember, this part is just the net. We are not using the material, it's just the net. So I left half an inch for joining, so it will not shorten my dress. So you can see I labeled it. This is A. This is for the first part. Then I'm about to cut out the second part of it. There are 3 layers. The dress comes in 3 different layers. So this is me trying to cut out the layer B. So you see the mark I had already given it. This layer B, you're going to use the material, but you will just need the net to cover it, to cover the material. You're not using just the material, you're using both material and the net. So I had to take my time so you would understand every step of the video. The dress is a little bit tricky, but you can see I've simplified it to the lowest level. So this is the second part of it. So we'll do the same thing for both front and the back. We'll use our net to cover. The dress is so beautiful. Like I said, this video is just for the cutting of the dress. So you can see I even labeled it. This is B and the other remaining part is the C. There are 3 layers of this dress, A, B and C. So I'm done with my B. So for the C, we'll just have to cut out the net that we'll use for the layers. The C has 3 different layers of net. So this was me trying to measure out the different lengths of net we'll be using. So for the first part, I used 5 inches, I think 4.5 inches, the second one 6 inches, and the third one 7.5 inches. So these were the nets. So this is the last layer. I started by cutting the last layer. This should be enough for both sides. I this is for the second layer. So depending on how grown the child is, you might not use the same inches for your own child. So you need to mark out the point will be okay. The different layers are covering each other. They're not supposed to be the same length. The nets are in different lengths, and so this is the first layer. This is 5 inches. This is 5 inches. Then for the B part of the dress, there was equally a net covering, as in a layer of net for the B part. You remember those cutout I labeled A, B, and C? The B part has another covering. So we'll cut out net for the B. So expect the next video.